Afternoon, it's approaching 4 p.m. As we always do, we come on just a few minutes beforehand, let everybody get ready, get organised, and then it's over to the chair or over to your standing space to start a bit of Circ Boost. That's what we do. No change there. I've just sort of got a bit of a... Oh, is that Marmite? Oh, I don't know. Let's see if I... Oh, I think it is. It's gone now, I think. Okay. Note to self, check one's visage before you go on the live so you don't notice a little bit of Marmite just saving itself for later just there. Carol, there was. Welcome, Carol, 4 p.m. 3 minutes to go. Smaller gathering at the 4 p.m s than normally at the 8 a.m s. Bex will be with you for tomorrow's 4 p.m. And I'm keeping everything crossed that I'm going to have a little bit of 4G or Wi-Fi when I get to my my digs, which is a teepee. I've booked myself a teepee. It's half-term week, isn't it? Everything's like super expensive. So there was a caravan with a little deck veranda thing, or a teepee to book. Obviously, I just looked at the pictures and I didn't really read the whatever's involved. So I have just I've just chucked a load of stuff in the car. I've even put a little plate and my you know, one of them, what are they called, teppanyaki grills. I've chucked one of those in. I've even put a kettle in. It seems it's not far put away from the camping trip that we've just been on. I did enjoy that bit of Marmite, thank you, Carol. I'm glad I found it. I wish I'd have found it slightly before I pressed live. But there you go. A little bit of a makeup malfunction, I think. Afternoon, Mrs. P. Afternoon, Gillian with a G. I've got Willow quite croaky and gravelly voiced today. She's, can you get me some Strepsils? I was like, yeah, she thinks she needs some. Afternoon, Odile, good to have you here as well. I'm not far off setting off for my trip to North Wales, Colwyn Bay, not Cardigan Bay, that's in a different direction. Hope I don't end up there. And apparently Margaret Hamilton has just come from up that way, and I'm hoping she's left a bit of sunshine around, because there hasn't been no sunshine around here today. In fact, we've had a bit of rain, which is welcomed for the garden. Who else managed to get through No Mow May? In fact, I didn't really find it that difficult. How about you, Gillian, Odile, Chris? How has your No Mow May gone? If you even knew it was No Mow May. Carol, how was yours? Yep, just a bit of movement getting going before I set off is a good place to start, I think, Odile, because I don't think I'll be moving that much over the next, what, 2.5, 3-ish hours on the way up there. Might be doing a little bit of this though, but not much else. Right, it's approaching. We're roundabout ready. So any more for any more? Any more coming through the back door? Your garden's a jungle, is it, Odile? Yep. It's about calf height for me in some places out there. It needs a good old mow now that May is over tomorrow, I believe. Right, shall we do this? Are you ready for a 3, 2, 1? Because you're going to get one. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon and welcome. You're with me, Kelsey Leverton from Later Life Training. This is the sway and stretch routine. We have a new sway each week. We've got a couple of add-ons today and that normal round of flexibility stretches. Today is Wednesday, the 31st of May 2023. Shall we get ourselves set up, organised, in good posture, and then we can get ourselves moving, which is actually what we're here to do, isn't it? So stop this chatter and get on with it. Up we stand, lifting, lengthening, as we always do, with a little bit of external support available to us, maybe in 1, 2 or 3 locations around you. Sturdy external support, nothing flimsy that might rock or tip. A sturdy chair. Might be an armchair or the sofa. It might even be a coffee table that you're all right sitting on for a bit. Again, lift up tall, take some hip walks, and we can start moving through the legs. This be a low level leg march. This be an actual leg march. Take your pick. Start with the pedals, build it up to a march. Start with the march, see how you feel. Possibly go back to the pedals. It's up to you. As long as we just try to keep on moving throughout this 3 minutes. The 3 minutes of continuous activity here shouldn't make you huffing puffing. It's not taxing on the heart and lungs, but you might feel a little bit of a change in your breathing. You might feel a bit wider as you breathe into your lungs and up through the chest as well, and down into your diaphragm. Take up with your support with 1 or 2 hands, a light fingertip touch rather than anything leaning, flexing, loading or putting pressure through. Let's take an arm swing and bring it into the mix. You can see my elbows bent and there's an emphasis on the movement from the shoulder. You should just see my elbow peeping round the back there, peeping round, driving backwards. Second arm can come in. All of those muscles around your chest, your shoulders, plenty of muscles all around the shoulder area there, and into your upper back. We'll be loosening off, warming through, bringing some temperature, a slight temperature increase to those areas. And we know what that brings. We bring it, temperature increase, loosens the fluid within your joints, gets them moving a little bit more fluid, and just prepares us for what we're going to do with our sway routine, and especially our stretches too. Stretches always need to be done on nicely warmed up muscles. Whether you're walking, climbing stairs, doing a few repetitive sit to stands, those types of actions can act as circ boost as well. Bring that down. Take a pause. Have a little bit of a fidget if you need. And we're going to move into our sway routine. Right. Replicate this into seated. And we can have one foot just slightly in front of the other. In fact, my heels are just about lining up with the toes. Into the knees, and we've got a shift and a transfer of the weight back. Just bending through that front knee, just bending lightly through that back knee. You'll feel the weight change from front foot to back foot, and then bring that to base again. So feet are apart, but just one offset foot, just to bend through the knees. Hang on, let me start set. I started straight-legged then. Bending, shifting and transferring. That feels better. Now, if your legs are quite long in this movement, you might find that feels very different. Take you longer to get there and back for starters. But this might feel just that little bit easier to keep it a bit more into and closer together. So let's pause there. Right, we've got a back of the hand that comes in. We've got a little flick of the wrist to turn the palm up and curve over, figure of 8 that we're making. A little twisty motion there which brings our elbow into the side and our palm in an upwards facing position again. And then finish off the curve at the bottom there. Same with the other hand and the other side. Back of the hand, opening up, over the topping, twisty motion, elbow tucks in at that point, palms are up, and there. So you're kind of rolling your shoulder in and sticking your elbow out a little bit so that we can really exaggerate elbow in, little turn on the wrist at the end. So elbow over the top. There's the twisty wrist as it comes down through that crisscross of the figure of 8. And one more. Now the bigger the motion, the longer it'll take for you to get there. But that doesn't mean we can't put the brakes on for any movement that we do that's just a little bit smaller than that. Okay, are we ready? Let's add this in with the legs. Use your other hand on your external support if you like. Soften into your knees and then shift forwards and back. Are we ready? Let's go now. Back of the hand. Your motions through the legs, just keep going and change sides. Palms up and over. Twisty wrist, elbow tucked in. Get ready with the other side. And last time, over the top. There's the wrist change. Okay, keep going with this. And then we're going to shift the weight forwards and step forwards and carry on with the shift forwards and backwards. So we're going to add this stepping action. You can travel maybe 2 steps on each side. Make sure you've got your external support handy just in case you need it. If you do find a little bit of overbalancing that occurs, just take a little bit of a reset step. Set yourself up, start again. Don't move too quickly. Make sure that that's a comfortable sized step as well. You might want to just have a bit of a rehearsal through. And it's when you're kind of shifting forwards, that you're just picking that leg up and you're straight into a forward shift again. From seated, you're not going to be able to travel. So what you can do is, of course, do your shifts and sways. But you're going to be stepping the foot back and then stepping the foot straight forwards. And that's all kind of in one transfer of weight. So there's the change again, and then we step forwards and shift forwards and back, shifting the weight over your bum. You'll feel a little bit of extra pressure through the feet as you do that. Are we ready? Let's see if we can add that with an arm movements too. Here's your figure of 8. Over the top we go, roundy, turny, tucky. And here we go with a step through, and then we can take that motion through the figure of 8 again. Here's the step through. There's a small pause, isn't there, before the second side joins in. I'm just going to have to get back a little bit, else I'm a bit too close to you lot. And that's our sway routine for today. Right. Right, let's get on with our stretch routine. There's a few different ways to stretch the calf. It's up to you. I'll show you a few options. If you've got a ledge, all of your foot well, all of your feet, all of you on the step, a little drop with the heel off. Make sure you've got some external support and you're sitting down, a little bit of your weight through the heel. That's going to give you a great calf stretch. Another standing option is the one that we always do. Split stride, bending into the front knee. By all means, take your pick. You don't have to do all three. See how you feel. And there's another stretch that you could do. Can you see that? My toes are just up against the leg of the chair, and it's just a small bend of the knee towards the external support, whatever it is. Have a short, maybe 10-12 second stretch of each of those, or just do one long stretch of one of those options. Here in seated, we've got the long leg option with the toes pulled back. We know this one. We can hold that for 20, building up to 30 seconds, making sure we feel the stretch tension all the way through. And you might want to relax and change sides. If you want a little bit of extra stretch for a bit lower into your calf area, you can step back and have a go at just really trying to push the heel down. You'll feel that start pulling out of the ankle, and you can lean forwards a little bit. Yep, I can feel that. If there's any uncomfortable pressure on your knee, I can feel a little bit of pressure on my knee. It's not uncomfortable though, but we do need a bit of pressure to try and bring in the stretch there. Relax. Your front of your thigh is probably working a little bit there as well. Let me just get that bit done. Okay, so quite a few options for calf stretch for you seated and standing. So you can see how you can easily sneak some of these calf stretches in when you're up and about. Some of them are a little bit more subtly done than that one. So you could crowbar those in as you're out and about. Now, backing up to sit down. Take a rest, take a sit, and readjust your seated position. Track the arms back. We're opening out the chest here. Great one for posture, as we know. I'm going to be doing a lot of driving, probably rounding, slumping, hunching a little bit. So this lifting, opening, holding, and breathing into it stretch is the exact opposite to where we often find ourselves leaning, hunching, rounding over through the chest and shoulders. Feel a pull at the front of the shoulders there, but really quite thoroughly into your chest muscle tissue there as well. Get those shoulders away from the ears. Don't create any additional or any unwanted tension in any area. And ease off. As we're in seated, we'll go straight into our back of thigh hamstring stretch. Just making sure that you are able to fully straighten out and stretch out that leg. Loose ankle. Sit as tall as you can, so there's a wall here and you're just trying to peep over that imaginary wall. Lean forwards so you can now get a little bit of a closer look. Like getting that at the back of the leg. Our legs are bent quite frequently, of course, in seated positions. The muscles are in shortened positions through our any kind of seated positioning we get ourselves into. And over time, these are muscles that can get quite tight, and they're really restricting then in allowing us to get down to feet, lower levels. Ease in a bit more, progress and recover. Okay, ready to go on to the other side. Right side, left side often feels a bit different from one another. Notice any kind of slight flexibility imbalances that you may have. And if you've got one side that is that little bit tighter and stiffer than the other, just spend a bit more time on it. Hold this stretch for a bit longer. Relax the stretch, do it again. So you get extra repeats, extra repetitions. There we go. Now, just before I recover from this stretch, I'm just going to get down to my shoelace. That's better. And come back up. Okay, finishing off then with our finale stretch for today, the upper side stretch, working down the back of the arm into the triceps, getting into and around our shoulders, our side, rib cage, waist muscles, lengthening for reaching, up and over the head, back of the head, shoulders, neck. There's the first bit. Assisting and aiding shoulder positioning if we have to ever turn or roll onto our side, or we have to lie on our side for whatever reason. And this full stretch with an extra reach, top shelf kind of stuff, picture rails, light bulbs, curtain rails, upper windows or shower heads that you might be adjusting as well. Lots of different purposes for having more flexibility, more mobility around the shoulder and down into your trunk as well. Hold it there, ease it, tease it back a bit more, and then take it for the full stretch. Up we go. Breathing through and recover, catch the elbow, supports the shoulder just a little bit more. Now you're probably a bit rooked up. Just reorganise your clothes, make yourself look presentable. Don't leave a splodge of Marmite in the corner of your mouth from that crumpet that you had earlier. Or pikelet, what is it? A crumpet, a pikelet? You know, Marmite just shouldn't be there hanging around, should it? It should have been gone a long time ago. Right, everyone, I'm out of here. Are you out of here? Where are you going? Or have you been out all day and been at home now and that's where you're staying? A little bit of a drive for me, of course, but thanks for joining me here on this 4 p.m. Going to keep my fingers crossed that I've got some Wi-Fi for the 8 a.m. movement snack. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, fingers crossed, eyes crossed, everything crossed, I can pull it off in the morning. Thanks, everyone. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.